Hey everyone, DFA here, welcome back to the channel, and I'm continuing the skill cannons of Blitz series with the tier 9, my pick for tier 9, which is a tech 3 cruiser, the Neptune. And yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I covered the Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago, because that thing, when you're used to the Edinburgh, and it's one of my favorite ships, and you're first touching that thing, it feels a little bit awkward. Yeah, because if you remember the video, the Edinburgh, it's what I call a frontline cruiser. It's super maneuverable, it's actually quite dodgy. So yeah, you can pretty much stay on the front line and be actually useful to your team, helping, you know, entering caps, contesting caps, killing enemy destroyers, etc. Not just camped at the back and that kind of stuff. And if you try doing that with the Neptune, well, good luck to you, because yeah, that thing gets a massive DPM increase from the tier 8 Edinburgh. I think the main reload from the guns, so you're still getting your 12 guns, but the reload goes from 7.5 to 5 or 5.5 seconds, something like that. So yeah, 12 15 centimeter guns that fire every 5 seconds, yeah, that's a lot of firepower, and you're also doubling the amount of torpedoes per broadside, so yeah, you're now a pretty scary destroyer, but you are doing that at the expense of your agility. And so when I did the grind to the Minotaur, yeah, that thing, I would say half of it, the first 200k XP, yeah, that was not pleasant. I had no idea what to actually do with it. And then I understood that this is actually indeed not meant to be as aggressive as the Edinburgh. It's a different kind of aggressiveness. You kind of have to be flanking a little bit more, and you simply cannot confront the enemy head-on. So you kind of have to find ways to use your concealment and to surprise them, because yeah, if you think you're going to be dodging with that thing, no, you will be dodging back to port. So it's kind of an oddball in the line between the Edinburgh and the Minotaur, which are both actually very, very good frontline ships. But yeah, so this one is where the line gets this massive DPM increase, and as you can see with the torpedoes, you are now a pretty scary ship indeed. So anything getting a little bit too close to you will actually regret it, and there you go. First engagement, 40,000 damage, the Hindenburg pays for it. So yeah, you get 3 smokes, but they get out pretty quickly, so you cannot just simply camp in the middle, otherwise you will have used them at the half of the battle. So you have to accept that you're not going to save the day right away. And here that's kind of what we're seeing. If you look at the minimap, we've lost the 3 areas. Yeah, the 3 epicenter areas, so we kind of have to accept that, but yeah, now I can be a little bit more aggressive, because the 3 battleships are focused on something else than me. And yeah, if you don't like Sejongs and Jinans, this is the absolutely perfect ship to to ruin them. So I'm not engaging right away, I want to cap that area first, because yeah, if I kind of have to stop the bleeding there, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, and I'm going to position myself in a position to be running away if one of these battleships decides to focus on me. And you see the beauty of the Neptune there. So once you find a target where those guns can actually deal full damage at any range, yeah, the target goes down very, very quickly indeed. So yeah, it's an incredibly powerful ship, I would say, against other light cruisers and destroyers. And against battleship, yeah, either you try the big DD mode and you try getting close while they're looking, yeah, you see, while they're looking away, because once they start looking at you, life becomes a little bit more complicated and you will lose your hit points very, very quickly. So that thing is super easy to citadel. So I'm going to use my last smoke to actually cap the center of the map, so the center of the epicenter, because that is actually what, yeah, it's pretty much the only way I have to be able to survive there. And while that Republic is pretty much running away from me, I can actually farm it, no problem. Yeah. actually no problem. No, you kind of have to get really close to battleships, to be completely honest, because yeah, you really have to hit for the aim for the bow of the stern, because yeah, otherwise you see what happens, you're just dealing 0 damage. So when you look at the paper DPM on that thing, it's actually pretty impressive until you notice that it is not, simply because yeah, it has no HE, just like every British light cruiser. And so yeah, practically, Tech 3 light cruiser, and so yeah, practically you kind of have to get close, because in those engagement you are at a disadvantage, and here this is pretty much the worst case scenario for the Neptune, because yeah, I'm kind of in between 3 battleships in a crossfire, so yeah. Getting to the center of the map, yeah, I thought I was using my left smoke, but I still had one. That's actually pretty good news, because that's the only way I can possibly survive this. So yeah, my bad, I thought I had used my last smoke, but I still had one. And yeah, you see, if you cannot hit the bow of the stern of the ships, you might actually be throwing potatoes at them, so so yeah, the Neptune, not super easy to play in the beginning, especially when you're used to more agile, more maneuverable cruiser, but once you accept its limitations and you start using it to its advantage, by flanking, by being a little bit more tricky, a little bit more, how can I say it? A little bit more surprising to the enemy team, then yeah, that is where that ship actually starts to shine. Because if you play it like a traditional support cruiser, damage farming cruiser, it's not going to work very well for you. Yeah, you see how quickly the hit points go down once you are in a traditional, I would say, 1 versus 1 scenario with a battleship. Yeah. You see, it's not really what that thing is actually good at. So yeah, I'm just going to call it a day, and I'm going to leave that Republic alone. No, maybe one last salvo before I disengage, because yeah, at that range, 7 kilometers, it's not going to end very well for me. And remember, that thing is not as agile as the Edinburgh. So can we survive its last salvo? Let's see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we do. So there you go, the Neptune, my pick for tier 9 scale cannons. I absolutely hated it at first, then I ended up liking it a lot. So yeah, not easy, but it can teach you a lot of valuable things before you get to the Minotaur, which in my opinion is one of the best ships, if not the best ship in the game. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this one about the Neptune. I will see you soon to talk about my pick for tier 10 cruisers, and it will be another Tech 3 ship. So see you soon, bye bye!